Are you looking for a way to help your brick-and-mortar business drive more traffic and increase your sales? Look no further than the Receipt Paper Podcast. In this podcast, Joanne and Kyle provide their sage advice on how to make your brick-and-mortar store the hottest spot in town. Whether you're just launching a new business or trying to grow an existing one, these informative episodes will leave you inspired. In each episode, Joanne and Kyle take on a different topic related to running a successful business. They offer practical tips based on their own experience as owners of multiple brick-and-mortar locations. So whatever challenges you're facing, they have actionable advice for you. From finding a location and executing your build-out, to merchandising and customer experience, to sales and marketing, Joanne and Kyle have you covered. With helpful advice from these experienced entrepreneurs, you are sure to learn how to increase your sales and have your business running out of receipt paper in no time. Let's dive right in.
Welcome back. Welcome to episode number 44 of the Receipt Paper Podcast. I am one of the two of your hosts, Kyle Strubing. I am sitting here next to my life partner, business partner, wife partner, Joanne Strubing. Jojo, baby, how are we doing today?
We are good. It is a beautiful sunny day here in Texas.
It's supposed to get up to 93 already. And it's what is this, the 26th of February? So one of the reasons why I decided to migrate down here for sure. It's pretty nice. Pool weather in February. That's not a Chicago thing for sure.
Yeah, we've been watching my younger siblings. They're still in high school, so we're kind of playing mom and dad, and it's been fun. We got up early, we did the school pickup line, and I think, Kyle has reconsidered children at this point, but
That pickup and drop off line, that's a thing. We're not really used to that. I'm normally gone and in the store by now doing my wellness thing, and it's another kind of reminder of that daily grind, right? Of having to commute to a job or doing all that and sitting in traffic. We're not above traffic, but I feel like with the store we run at such different times that it's nice, right? Because when you're sitting in traffic, that cuts in on family time, workout time, really you time. So it's certainly a good reminder. But
yes,
yeah,
I'm excited for today's episode.
yeah. So am I. A lot of stuff that we do is intro, kind of how to get open and stuff like that. I think this one is a lot more topical and timely for us, having been in business now for 5-6 years. And I think there's some good information and some good discussions. Not to shy away from, not that these tactics can't be used for those of you that are still stepping up. It's good information to have, but I think this is kind of would you say, a little bit more advanced on this?
Yeah. So today we're going to be talking about what we are currently spending money on. So
Right.
where we've budgeted our funds to go this year to really grow and expand. And I think we shared with you guys at the beginning of the year, our word of the year is expand this year.
Right.
And so that's really our big goal. And so, most of you that have been in business for a couple of years, you're always looking for ways to grow. So I think this is going to be a great episode for you. But if you are brand new, some of these strategies are things that you can absolutely consider being new in business. You don't have to be in business for 5 years to consider the strategies we're going to talk about today.
Right. Also, a lot of these things are applied principles that we do teach, right? I mean, we're going to talk, I'm sure I'm going to say, what do we figure the return on the investment is going to be? And I'll try to touch on a lot of mentality of what the decision-making process and stuff like that was. And like I said, we still use the same tactics that we did 5 years ago. The same principles still apply. So, as you evolve, and I would preach on that before, kind of a self-scouting, re-inventory. So there's opportunities to do that as well.
Yeah. And typically when we come on these episodes, we're sharing with you feedback on things we've already done, right? So we're usually put ourselves out there as the guinea pigs, and then we come tell you, hey, do this. This is just doesn't work. This does work. Well, this time's a little different. Some of these things we have never done before.
Right.
So we're going to share with you what was our thought process in making the decision to do this. Now, don't worry, we're going to come back in the future and share with you, how it went. We'll share the experience, but so just know that not all of these things we have experienced yet, but we are going to walk you through that process. We also did an awesome episode. I don't know the number off the top of my head, but it was on how to vet out marketing vendors. So if you are curious on more information on how we vet out potential marketing vendors, go check out that episode as well. So today we've got 6 areas that we are doubling down on per se to grow our business this year. We're going to go over each one, and yeah, like Kyle said, the decision behind why we are doing so. So do you want to kick us off with number 1?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll go into number 1. It's going to be, kind of references back to our big goal is being expansion. And based on our background, right, I try to not reinvent the wheel. So we're familiar with franchising because we were a franchisee. Um, Altered States used to be, CBD American Shaman of Capel, and it evolved. So we always say, we kind of preach on that too, is you get in there and your business kind of evolves. So we're familiar with the franchise model. So we wanted to look at expansion that way. That was one thing that we decided. We did have 3 stores before, and there were some positives and there were some negatives. But we really wanted to focus more. Joanne said something to me the other day that really resonated, of working on our business, not in our business so much. So if we are hands-on, um, you're just not, you're putting out a lot more fires, and now we feel that the model for us, it just made sense for us to franchise. So we decided to go and invest a pretty significant chunk, but I'm super confident in a franchise consultant. Um, we could probably do it, but we just don't have the bandwidth for it, right?
Yeah, we would do it right. Like
Right.
having been a franchisee before, I think that's what's made us feel confident about franchising is because we saw what didn't work as, from the franchisor. We saw what we did like and things that we really want to do differently. And a couple of those things is really having a strong onboarding process and really good training and things like that. And so that's what the consultant's going to help us with, is really building like manuals, creating a franchise disclosure document, which is like the legal documents, and really refining things. And the franchise consultant can be, he's helped hundreds of people franchise before, so he can tell us those things that we don't know yet, So for us, this is one of those big decisions we know we want to do, but we want to do it right.
Right.
So that's why for me, that's why I really wanted to invest in a consultant, right?
Right. Yeah. And we did pay a pretty penny. It was, how much was it?
Yeah, so the consultant fee was about 45,000. As we were vetting out, that was actually somewhat on the lower end, which I thought this consultant was much more valuable than some of the others we met. But yeah, I would say about 40 to all the way up to 100,000 is the ranges we were seeing for consultants, and they all offered different things. Some of them would actually help you sell your franchise, and this one is more on the like training and truly
Nuts and
helping you
bolts and
get everything together from a structural standpoint. So I'm really excited. We're just now kicking this off, but we are so excited about expanding through franchising. Like Kyle said, when you look at expanding your business, you've got different options. You can expand through, start wholesaling your products. You can expand through adding on additional locations that you are the owner and investor in. And we did that. And, it paid off for us. We were able to grow those locations. You buy down your economies of scale with, now you're combining products or supplies for 3 locations. That worked out great. But we got burnt out real fast. Like, oh my gosh, being at 3 different locations, checking in, managing all those employees, it was hard. And so when we look now at expanding again, we knew that we did not want to go that route. Like we like what we have right now, but we don't want to get back there. So, with franchising, we can bring on people that love our business model that want to learn from us, and we can teach them everything we know about what we've done to be successful, exactly how to do it, and then, they get to reap the benefits of having somebody experience tell them, hey, you want to sell your services this way, you wanted to set up your memberships this way. We're out there doing branding and marketing for them. They don't have to worry about that. So, it's a win-win situation where, we get paid to teach what we know, but they, take on the risk of the initial
Right.
investment, and the day-to-day operations is on them, but we're still there holding their hand, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
It made sense in order to, kind of replicate for the model that we have with the Altered States project. It made sense. We couldn't be in three places at once. It just wasn't a thing. But I will say 45,000 sounds like a big number, right? So if you take into consideration of what they're doing, and this is a full year's worth of service too, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes.
We're contracted so for a full year. If you paid, I mean, if you think about that, that's if you paid, so you could pay somebody with that expertise to do that for you for $45,000. Nobody worth their, like we could hire somebody and I could go do it or whatever. But the fact of the matter is, it's just like it was worth it because it allowed us to do other things now and work with that. But it's like you have to look at, I guess we looked at this as just really adding on additional payroll. That was, at least that was my mentality. And that's kind of how I thought about it and justified it. Like
Like a
it's
COO.
COO, like for less than 50K a year, you're just not going to get that, right? So, and he came with the team. We had looked at all of their previous projects, things like that. If you have somebody coming up to you saying that they're going to do this and they don't have references or they don't have this, you got to kick them. You know what I mean? You have to see the previous work. That was
Oh,
one
for
thing
sure.
that we learned. A lot of people are going to say that they can do this and take you to this level or whatever, but the proof is in the pudding. And it was really only between this one and two others. We wanted to kind of level up the brand for sure. We'll talk about the brand, but yeah,
Yeah. And like Kyle always says, looking at the ROI, when we think about selling a franchise, we're selling a franchise for about 50,000. We haven't determined the exact amount yet, but we're thinking around 50,000. So, at the end of the day, it's like, how many do we have to sell to make this back?
right.
Okay, that's one franchise. Like that to us, like the ROI is there. So, when you're thinking about, your ROI, like how many units do you have to sell of what you're looking at? If you're looking at wholesale, like how many wholesale accounts do you need to get? So look at it that way for
And
that.
it is a little bit different sale too, right? And if you think about if you're going to demand a lot of money, you need to provide a bunch. I mean, you need to give
Yeah, a lot more
incremental
value.
value. So you have to get it right. You have to get it right the first time. So investing in this more upfront so that it's a more polished. I mean, think of experience. I mean, think about it as like it's in brick and mortar, right? It's their buying experience. It's no different.
Hmm.
So if and we wouldn't do it any other way at the store. So why are we really doing? We wouldn't do it with this either. So we understand that, yeah, it's a significant investment, but you have to get incremental value.
Yeah.
And that's the idea. If you have somebody who has big dollars, they're going to want to see that all of these things are taken care of.
Yeah.
And even at this point, we don't know what we don't know.
Right.
I feel like we're entering into the academy now. Like we just don't really know that as much. So, but yeah, it definitely makes sense.
Yeah, we are so excited about this. We will be sharing our journey with you of, what it's taking to franchise, the challenges, the roadblocks, the wins. We'll share it all with you because I know a lot of you out there, this is a model that you're considering to grow your business. So we'll keep you updated, and maybe one day we'll have a how to franchise your business academy. Who
Right.
knows? I
Yeah.
don't know.
We never know.
But we'll definitely share our learning lessons. I'm super excited. I think this is going to be a phenomenal way to grow and really kind of just build it. I'm excited about the community aspect, like building a community of people that are all wanting to do the same thing and really being able to help these business owners in that way. I think it's going to be really fun. We're going to move to a very different role within our business, where we're helping more business owners rather than the customers. So I'm excited about that.
But the idea is, and we talk about this of, finding what we're good at or our expertise. And I feel like after these 5 years, we're pretty darn good at it,
Yeah,
and I'm super confident that it can be replicated for sure.
yeah.
For sure, there's no reason why I can't.
Absolutely. Okay, so we started with the big one. Number two is we have decided to work with a brand agency. So, this was very interesting for us. It wasn't something that popped into my mind right away. We were actually out there looking at, what ways can we market our business? We've kind of hit this point in our business where we've grown, and then we've kind of plateaued a little bit, which, we're still doing great numbers. We're very happy with them, but we want to keep growing. So for us, we really wanted to step up our marketing, and that's what
Right.
we're going to be talking about in these next few ones. But when we started looking at different marketing channels, we kept coming back to like our website and our social and our, the way that we were presented in a digital way. And for me, we just did this huge remodel in store. I think our store is beautiful. I might be a little biased, but I love it. But when I look online, it just does not match the in-store experience.
Right.
Like we have this incredible next level experience that we've honed in on, but they have a hard time understanding that experience by looking at our website. So that's really what prompted us to look at a brand agency. So a brand agency really can hone in on like what is your message to your audience? Like how is the audience perceiving you, making sure that you're targeting the right people through, your logo and your colors and your photos and your videos and all those little things. So we've decided to work with an agency. They are going to help us create a brand guide, which is going to be great for our franchisees because they will have a complete brand guide on, fonts and logos and colors and what messaging to use, what should their voice be, when they're writing things in captions online. Like they'll have guidelines on all of that. So they're also going to help us create a brand story video, which I think is going to be really, really help us share that in-store experience with people and what's the meaning and passion and feelings behind our brand. And then they're going to do a complete website overhaul, which is so needed. I'm so excited. So we did go with a story brand agency. We've talked about this book a couple of times, but I highly recommend getting this book. And this would be a great book that you can utilize on your own without an agency. It's called Story Brand. It's by Donald Miller, but he walks you through like every single step of how to create a brand that captures your audience through telling a story. And it is so powerful. Like there was one thing I read in this book that I thought was so interesting, and it was about how you really have to simplify your message. Like when people are looking at a website or something online, like they they are processing things so quickly. They're only like, they're looking at a high level. So if they can't within like 10 seconds figure out what it is, how it's going to benefit them and what the next first step is, like, then you're missing out. And I don't know, it really, really, after reading that book, I learned a lot. Learned a lot. I had to do a little convincing, I think, with Kyle on this one, but I do think that you were able to really see the value on like we're selling our brand to franchisees,
Right. And we have one shot was what it got for me, right? When in looking at also, we did the same thing we do in the boot camps, in the academy. We looked at the competition and where were they lacking, and we had opportunity. And there's all types of things that we're going to pivot on. We have come back now with this to our ideal customer avatar, like the same things that we talk about, and we just kind of took a step back, and that's where the branding agency really came in. So, had I not have understood
right?
things like that, I don't think I would have been about it. Um, but I do once again going back towards, chasing a higher dollar, ticket item
Yeah.
piece, and
Yeah.
then the idea would be that it would pay it off. Stuff like this, when people get excited in the brand, you once again are building fans, not customers, but
Mhm.
they associate with it, and it enables, it trickles down kind of the funnel, enabling you then to kind of get a little bit of close too.
Yeah.
It helps.
Yeah, we want to enter this market as in a way that we can attract the right investors that they are excited about this brand, like you said. So I think this was going to be very interesting.
What are some
And
of your, like, I know whenever I think of brand or something like that, I'm a Joe Rogan guy, so I think of like On It or like, the different brands and stuff like that. And I kind of have always wanted to get a big brand per se, what are some of
yeah,
the,
I mean, when I think of like brick and mortar brands, like, I mean, lately I've just been, I don't know, anytime I see a service-based business, I'm definitely honing in like Hand and Stone, like European Wax Center, Hello Sugar, who we talked to
sugar?
Brigham recently, like just like seeing like taking note of, how they've built their brands or, and it's very interesting because a lot of them are very simple, a lot more simple than I would
Right,
real like I sometimes think it has to be extravagant
right.
and I think sometimes the simpler the better, but
I'm
yeah.
excited for it. I'm excited to see what they come up with.
Yeah.
Should we move on to number three?
Yeah.
Number three is going to be the PR agency. Jojo went through and vetted a bunch of these. I'm going to turn it back over to you. I mean, what was some of the things that we were looking at?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I think for us, like how I know that like when we have people come into our storefront, they love the experience. We rarely have, knock on wood, have a customer that does not have an incredible experience. So for us, we just need to get in front of more people. Like people, if you've ever heard people say like, "Oh, I didn't even know you were here," like, oh, crushes your heart. You're like, no, but so we just want to get in front of as many people as possible. Also, one of our goals is to begin our franchise journey in Dallas. So we'd like to expand there. So we want to grow our brand in Dallas. And so we want everybody in DFW to know about Altered States Wellness. So we figured one of the fastest ways to do this is to get a PR agent. Now, this is something if you're first starting out, like you can do press releases on your own. You can reach out to these editors on your own. For us, we want to spend our time somewhere else. We've got a lot to do for creating trainings and standard operating procedures for our franchisees right now. So
what would be the difference, not to cut you up, but what would be the difference between us reaching out? Because I said the same thing. I was like, well,
mhm,
shit, I'll just, pardon my French, I'll be like, shoot, I'll just go ahead and call them myself. But you said to me, you were like, no, these people have contacts.
yeah, yeah.
You're leveraging their contacts.
Yeah, a
So,
lot for us, it might take us, 10 to 20 emails or, a few hours to find the right people. Whereas, these people, these PR experts, like they know exactly, they have relationships
right.
that they can just call and say, hey, I've got a client, they've got this really unique service. It's called flow therapy. Have you ever heard of it? Yeah, you want to feature them on your show, like whatever,
Right.
like so I think that, it's so doable on yourself. And I want you to know that. Like we did
You
press
did a
releases
lot
for
of that. Yeah.
we got picked up by people like
Yes.
33 found
Right.
us, like so you can do it on your
But
own. But
also, those things crush it.
yeah,
Right? Things like that. Like if you can get in the news or you can have somebody do
it's
something, or
huge.
it's huge. So it is with that, and it's easy to track, at least for us. So with that, it was like I saw the ROI on it pretty quick
Yeah,
too.
we had there's a big influencer app here called Nudge.
Nudge, yeah.
I think it's in a bunch of different cities in Texas, um, but we were on there and it was huge. I mean, our sales increased by like 2K a day,
Yeah, it
two
was
whole
insane.
weeks. So for us, like we immediately saw the value of influencers and media. We
But
just,
didn't understand it per
yeah,
se, right? I get it. I think that's one thing that we don't tap into as well, I guess. I understand a Facebook post, and I understand we're going to talk about that later, like Google ads and things like that. But that whole kind of science of that, and also like we've tried a couple people we've given service to and haven't seen any ROI. And was
yeah,
it the right influencer? Was it this? Or
right
was it that?
influencers, yeah,
It was very, and
yeah,
believe me, when I learned, well, we're definitely taking notes
yeah,
on
yeah,
this, but it's so hard to kind of figure that out where everybody talks a big game and you're like,
yeah.
and is your business tagged correctly in it? All of that stuff, they manage all of that.
One thing I wish if we could go back and do, I really would consider putting a budget when we first opened towards our grand opening, and this is something I want all of our future franchisees to do, is to put a budget towards PR and influencer. I think when we vetted out these PR agencies, the case studies they had for grand openings were
Yeah, they were
incredible.
insane.
I mean, some of these people were getting like 200 members before they were even open,
Right.
or they were getting, packed like 1,000 people waiting out at the door grand openings. And for you to have that kind of publicity and that kind of start for your business is huge. Like that's incredible. And so that's something I would definitely spend the money on when you're first opening. Like you're gonna be spending, $5,000 a month, or some of these packages went up to like 15K, but you can do smaller ones. So, but it's worth it. I
Right.
really truly believe that you will see that return.
And my biggest thing was we didn't really commit to anything either. So if they, pardon my French, if they suck, you can't. I mean that's the other thing. I don't mean to be rude like that, but if you're, I was like, okay, well, back to that. People talk real highly of themselves, obviously, and just try it out. But we need a 2-year commit. I'm not interested in that.
Yeah.
Let's try this. Let's see what we can do. And then get it out. Prove your worth. It would be no, and set. And for us, it's all about setting clear expectations too
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
At least for me.
Yeah, all of these wanted long contracts. I think our PR agency asked for 6 months, and I talked them down to 3. So for us, 3 months was honestly our typical standard time of vetting something out for 3
Right.
months, seeing if it works. I think 3 months gives you good feedback there. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
We have our first meeting tomorrow with them, so we'll keep you updated. Let you know how it works. We're starting with local PR first, so yeah, we'll see what happens.
All right, numero quattro. That's 4 for everybody. Doubling down on Facebook ads. Joanne has it here that they work and we want to spend more here. Yes, they work.
Yeah.
Yes, they work. We got in the CBD business, which started, right? And you still to this day, I don't think you can run legally or without, 100% above board. I don't want to say legally, but 100% above board without the Google bots finding it. I still don't think you can do CBD ads.
Yeah, it's really difficult
And
too. Yeah.
wow, what a challenge.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's now that we have floats and have pivoted towards services so much more, it's so much better.
Yeah, it's such a blessing.
Yeah.
You to finally run pay per click ads is what they call them, like on Facebook and Google. It was a game changer, and for us, like Facebook took a little bit to figure out. Like we tried $20 off, we tried a free service, we tried just advertising who we are. Like it took a little bit to hone in on like what works on Facebook, but once we figured out what message worked for the audience, it's like gangbusters, and you don't have to touch it. You just leave it on. It's bringing in.
Make it a little seasonal, don't you? You
Yeah,
pivot
we
the
will.
offers seasonal
Yeah.
a lot of times.
Yeah, like Valentine's Day, we promoted our Valentine's Day offer, date night things. So, we'll add in different things, but for the most part, it kind of stays the same. I mean, we're just constantly, it's our method for bringing in new customers. So we get their lead capture, like we shared in a recent episode about building our list. So we, get that contact information, their email, and then we get them in the store with an offer. So, it's either a freebie, like a free service, or a discount, like $20
Intro
off.
offer, yeah.
Yeah. So, and it works great. It gives us new faces. It gets us new people. These people come in the store. They
Sign up for
purchase
memberships.
products. They tell their friends. I mean, it's one of the best ROIs we've seen for getting new customers through the door.
They're low maintenance. They book directly online.
Yeah.
They leave reviews. That's definitely have seen huge results with that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's great. So we know that this works, and for us, we're just doubling down on it. So we will be using it for our marketing strategy this year. Yeah. We did wind up hiring. I used to do a little bit of this on my own, but decided I wanted to take this off my hands. So I did pass this over to our Facebook agency. So, for them, you can find agencies that will manage your ads for anywhere from 300 to about 1,000. I would say if they're over that, I would go find someone else because, as a brick and mortar business, you don't need to be paying more than $1,000 to manage your ads. But you can find companies that will do it for like 350, and then, your ad spend anywhere from 500 to 1,000 typically. So, that's not a ton if you're thinking about, getting a new customer through your door every day, right? So, you can kind of vet out what your average spend is and what makes sense for you.
Cool. Should we move on?
Yeah, number five.
Number 5, yes.
Number five is Google Ads.
I kind of skipped
Similar.
over. Yeah, I
Yeah.
kind of jumped the gun on that.
No, that's
Yeah.
okay. So this is very similar to Facebook ads. Google ads is something we've always done. I forgot that I decreased our spend. We usually keep it at 1,000. I decreased it to 500, and we were kind of noticing we were a little
Right.
slower than normal. And I was like, huh. And then I bumped it back up, and literally, like within a week or so, we're getting like 10 times more calls. So it
We
works.
typically decrease it during the holidays, right? Because everybody's
Yeah.
spending money there and your money just doesn't
Yeah.
go as far. That's typically why we did it during that, right? Everybody's on.
Yeah.
Look, it's just
You're competing a lot more with people.
just for overall eyeballs. But yeah, no. So then it goes back up for Valentine's Day, which, like we said, we touched on that before.
Yeah, but Google Ads work. And so we want to continue to focus there. It's a great way to make sure that you pop up right at the top anytime somebody searches those keywords in your local area. So if you haven't tried Google Ads, highly recommend it. Again, this is something you can set up yourself. There are some nuances to it. So if you prefer to have somebody else manage it, you can do that as well. So, but it is something you can learn on your own. Go check out YouTube. There's lots of videos and stuff out there.
Final one. All right. Number 6 is going to be another service offering. So yes, I'm glad I got this one. We're looking at getting another red light or hopefully we're going to swap out one of the tanks. We want to just continue. So with that being said, we want to make sure everything is perfect and is maxed out at the store that we have now, so that we can use that to kind of pivot and expand, right, as much as possible. What that's going to do also is allow us to, with trying new things, right, pushing boundaries, bringing it to, because we have a new customer to service or somebody that we're looking toward, a potential customer to service. Bringing that in, of that innovation of why they should go with us over the long term, things of that nature. We wanted to kind of continue to push that and be the experts or the disruptors kind of in our specific industry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think your business just has to continue to evolve to keep those customers engaged and wanting to come back for new things. So, adding in new product lines or new services is important to that. I think that's one way that we've been able to keep customers coming back is every year we are adding in a new product or service or something exciting. So continue to look for ways, and they add in additional revenue streams for you too. So for us, we have a room that we call the lab, and it has like a pimp mat and compression boots, and it's one of our, it's probably the least popular service. So that's why we want to add in the red light into that service, and I think we'll see a boost in sales in that service because of it.
And this flows all the way back up then through the list that we're doing, right? So if we add a new service, that stuff can go into Google Ads. That stuff can go into Facebook. This new thing, you have something to market as
For the
well
PR agency.
for the PR. Like it's, oh my gosh, they're trying this new thing, and it gets people excited or at least interested as opposed to the same stuff all the time.
Right. It all works together.
It all kind of flows together. Yeah, we add these things on to give us something new. People always come in, what's new? What's new? And when I go in and buy products, I just buy some random stuff just because it's new, so people can look at it. Do they buy it all the time? I don't know, but it's like I always like to see what's new.
Yeah,
and it comes towards comes towards the experience.
Yeah, and it goes back to you being an expert in your industry. You know the latest trends. You know what's cool. Like people are going to come to you for what's popular in the industry. So make sure you have an offering that's related to that offering, or you have something comparable to it.
I'm excited.
I am so
I'm
excited
excited.
for this is a year of big growth. We have invested a lot in our business this year. I want you to know your numbers don't have to be this big.
Right.
Or maybe they're bigger. I don't know, but
Or maybe this is just a need that you're seeing. You're like, oh shoot, I need to focus more on PR or whatever. You know, it
maybe
might
you
be.
haven't tried Facebook ads
Right.
yet. Maybe, or maybe you haven't changed or added any new services or products in your business forever. So maybe go see a new product line that you can look at adding. Like there are things that can keep your business exciting, give your business some new life and growth and
Right.
in ways. So, always be thinking of these ways and innovating and I never want you to feel stuck in your business. There is always an opportunity to grow your business. Always. Your business is never just done so.
Yeah, no.
Unless your business is not done growing. So know that there are lots of ways to grow and evolve. If you are trying anything new, DM us on Instagram, Master Brick-and-Mortar. I love hearing from you guys. I love hearing what new marketing channels you're trying or new products lines that you are adding. Let me know. I want to hear and learn from you guys as much as hopefully you learn from us.
Everybody have a great week.
Yes, we will be back to share insight on how these things work. So stay tuned.
We'll see you guys. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to the Receipt Paper Podcast, your go-to source of information for starting and growing a successful brick-and-mortar business. Subscribe to hear future episodes and share this content so that more people can access these valuable insights. If you're looking for more resources to help you with your brick-and-mortar business, visit masterbrickandmortar.com or follow us on Instagram at masterbrickandmortar. Thanks again for listening to the Receipt Paper Podcast. We'll see you in the next episode.